G'day, welcome to another episode of SidekickTV. Today we're actually joined by one of the Sidekick team, Ben Bailey, who's one of our accountants here. And Ben's actually a bit of a specialist in cryptocurrency, or it's certainly one of his passion areas. So it's great to have Ben on board with us. And look, we thought we'd just quickly kick into it talking about crypto. Ben, can we have it in your words? Why do people own crypto?
I think there's definitely a variety of reasons. It could be as simple as sort of a bit of diversification of your assets, or even as far as people sending remittances back home to their native country, sort of cutting down on bank fees or whatever sort of restrictions might be in place. But it's probably sort of the sense of ownership that sort of gets people involved and just feeling like they're in control of something that sort of makes sense to them and they're passionate about. Yeah,
it's interesting you mentioned that about like you say, like the kind of Western Union that we're familiar with, cross-border transactions. That was actually how people were using crypto quite a lot a few years ago. Hey, is that still a major part of the crypto?
Yeah, it'll be still involved, but I think what was seen particularly with cryptos like Ethereum as well, is that the sort of the transaction costs of at times really high. So as long as the fees of transferring are sort of under what you would pay for those other companies, then you'd still look to go ahead and do that, but it's certainly something to factor in these days as well.
Yeah. Because that's it, isn't it? When you're trading, we were talking earlier, and things that we've spoken about a lot. And I don't know if people watching this are going to consider themselves experts in crypto or not, but you've got things now like staking with particular coins, and you've got trading. You spoke of people wanting to be in control of their assets. So can you tell me a bit, what's staking, what's trading, like what are people doing with their cryptocurrencies?
So staking, it'll depend on sort of what crypto asset you have. There's literally thousands of them. So staking for probably the easiest one to put out there would be Cardano, and it's another sort of setup that allows you to secure the network by having these different staking pools, and people will run these pools and essentially reward you for allocating your funds to their pool. It's still secured by you, and you'll still own those coins. It's sort of someone else is sort of managing that for you, and as long as their network's running and validating transactions and holding up the network, then you'll be rewarded. So you have to choose wisely as well sometimes with who you allocate your pools to, or if you're going to take that on yourself. Yeah. To set that up.
So you're essentially putting your capital up to be leveraged, and then you get a return on it. Is that how that works?
Yeah. Well, for some of them it'll be every 4 days or every X amount of time that they'll release a reward, kind of like how in Bitcoin mining, if you win the block, then you are rewarded with Bitcoin. So that's sort of dispersed across these pools.
Yeah. Great. And then trading, I presume that's very much like trading of anything else. Is it shares or currencies, or like your foreign exchange currency? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So crypto is categorized as property, and sort of buying and selling, when you realize these gains or losses from when you buy and sell, you sort of have to report that as well. So yeah, it's you'll just because you are buying and selling doesn't necessarily mean that you've got a business in cryptocurrency and you're a trader, but you'll still have to report those profits and losses during the year.
Yeah, because that's it. Like what's been the IRD's perspective on cryptocurrency?
Well, we've sort of been a year or two behind. sort of America or even Australia, that we're probably a bit faster to release their opinions on it, but we are starting to gain some momentum there now. There's a fair bit of information on the IRD's website to this now, but basically most movements through cryptocurrency are taxable. Anytime you trade between crypto to crypto, when you dispose of your currency for another cryptocurrency, or even you're pulling it out, it's hard to not trigger a taxable event, but there are sort of certain circumstances, particularly in with staking or receiving interest income, that will be reported differently. Mining, again, it's sort of recorded slightly differently, but it's just being aware of what you are investing in, what you're doing, and what the results are.
Because I mean, am I right in saying it could potentially be the opportunity where if you've spent real world money on coins like Bitcoin or Ethereum or Cardano, and then you're putting it up there to then be staked, so you're actually getting an income off that. We'd be declaring the income because it is income. You pay tax on that. The value of those coins might go up or down. That would be a totally capital exercise, right? So typically in New Zealand, you wouldn't actually pay for a gain in that. Is that going to be possible with cryptocurrency? That people, if they've bought for revenue, if the coins go up or down, we don't treat that as taxable?
It does depend on your sort of personal circumstances. We would want to sort of talk to you specifically if this was our client coming in, see what your purpose was when you first brought the coin, what your movement and activity was, and sort of assess that to see whether the end result of when you dispose of this cryptocurrency will be taxable. In most cases, if you do have a history of buying and selling, then it's going to be a taxable profit. Hopefully it's profit.
Yeah, perfect. All right, and then this sounds like a horror. I have a hatred of admin as it is. This sounds like there's a lot of admin involved in tracking this. Like our clients coming to us saying, "I've done a bit of this, bit of that. Some trading. Now I've got this much." Like, what can we do, and what can they do to make sense of that?
So it is a nightmare. It is a bit of a logistical nightmare, and you could easily take a full day of your time bringing all this information in, downloading all your spreadsheets and tracking it all. Most platforms that you have been trading on do have a way to download a CSV, or we've been seeing a lot of crypto tax software come through. One that as an accountant we use, from what I've found, is a software in Xero, which is just incredibly clean and really nice to use. And we've seen a lot of our clients sort of migrate to Coinly, and Coinly seems to be their sort of choice. We are seeing these reports come into us.
Great.
And it makes the process really easy. You can put in your public address into this tax software, and it'll pick up automatically all your trades during the year, all your transactions, or those CSV files, or
whatnot. All those gains and losses.
You can pull it all through. You'll still have to know what's going on there. So there's a bit of skill around that, and it's just reaching out and getting in touch with us. Yeah.
But at least it's done a lot of the data collection for you.
Yeah, well, that's step one, is pulling everything in together and collating that, which is great. So Coinly does a great job in that.
Perfect. And that's basically what we're getting the bulk of our crypto clients to try and use, or like it's going to save us time, them time, and everyone a bit of money, hopefully.
I mean, if someone's bringing it in from that point, that's a heck of a lot of admin cut down, and then we can work from there as to what's going on.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then, so lastly, right, and I love to chat to guys that like crypto about this stuff, right? Where do you see it going? So where we are right now, what do you think are going to be some of the changes, and where do we see crypto being used by Joe Blogg's public?
I think it's just going to keep slowly eating away at the finance sector, as we adapt with our laws and regulations and that, hopefully it's going to sort of ease it into our lives, and but like certainly I don't see why it wouldn't be touching what your lawyers are doing, what your insurance companies are doing, anything that your business operates from on a day-to-day, like e-commerce, your website, everything just interacting in a pretty seamless way, and sort of under the hood, it's, if you were aware of everything that was going on, I'm sure your head would explode, but it's quite an exciting time, I think.
Yeah. And then, when you look at it from a kind of political perspective as well, there was a country just recently that just announced that it was legal tender and gave everyone a wallet, and within probably a fortnight of that, we had China saying, right, that's it, it's illegal, we're banning it. So what do you think might happen with countries' interaction with crypto?
That's anyone's guess, really, Rick. But it seems to be that countries that have had problems with inflation are more inclined to be crypto friendly and push out adoption. So it's just keep watching the space and.
So developing countries perhaps quicker than OECD countries will get into crypto, and
I think so, but there's also massive push out with regulation around stable coins as well, which is sort of US is leading the front there. I think there's going to be some pretty big regulations with people that have created these stable coins, which effectively hold the national currency of that sort of country. That's probably a lot of where all the trading happens, is people will pull out from their crypto to a stable coin and enter and exit, or go into these finance applications and earn interest or whatnot. So
fantastic. No, that's awesome. Hey, thank you so much for that, Ben. That's great. And look, I'm sure that many people watching this, you'll have many questions about what is crypto, and might be getting into it, or might even need to be accounting for it. So certainly don't fire those questions my way. Ben is the expert at this stuff, but get in touch and it would be great to hear from you. Thank you.
Ready. Cheers.
Cool. Cheers.